Hi, it's Jim Cyrus. We're going to continue with our series on the Vendors Representative Committee and their responsibility. This week we're going to talk about the information that the Vendors Representative Committee needs to be giving its operators so they can make prudent decisions concerning their facilities and their continuation in the Randolph-Shepard Act. So stay tuned. The Vendors Representative Committee is supposed to be gathering information and jointly working with the state agency to manage and promote the Business Enterprise Program. Part of their due diligence is simply to gather information and determine the well-being of the program in each state. They submit a form each year, an AR-15, which defines many of the parameters of how the facilities are doing in a particular state. In the state of Ohio, we went from second in the entire nation as far as income per operator to $20,000 below average. Now, there's many reasons for this, but we're not even going to discuss that in this video. What we need to discuss is the vendor's responsibility to relay this information to the operators. Now, I know in the state I'm in Ohio, this information was provided to the Vendors Representative Committee and to the state of Ohio because I was the one that provided the information. This came from AR-15s, from state websites and different blind vendors organizations. This information was sound and available to these state agencies and the Vendors Representative Committee. In the state of Ohio, we went from the second in the entire country to $20,000 below average. The average operator in the United States makes $59,000, almost $60,000 a year. In the state of Ohio, they make $40,000 a year. The average roadside rest area Kennelly operator in the United States makes $77,000 a year. In the state of Ohio, not one of them is even close to that number. The Vendors Representative Committee needs to be gathering this information and distributing this to the operators. They should know what the state of the program is in their state 5 years ago and today. And the reason for this is to know what action needs to be taken within the program, and operators can make decisions about what they're going to do in regards to their personal careers, whether they're even going to stay within the Business Enterprise Program or move on to something else. A state agency, because of the business being wrapped in a bureaucracy, takes much longer to adapt to information or changes in society and or facilities than a private business. Usually there are 1, 2, and 5 year plans within the private industry. In the state of the Business Enterprise Program, this could be like a 3 to 5 year plan that needs to take place. So the need to be on top of this information and making decisions and being in front of the financial changes and the dynamics within the state is very important. In the state of Ohio, this information was readily available. I made sure that they had this information. I did a series on how low can Ohio go, and I sent this out to the state agency and to the Vendor Representative Committee. is my understanding to this point that none of this information was provided to the vendors. I consider this a disservice. The program and the operators do not have the proper financial state or understanding of the state of their facilities and program. They can't make the decisions necessary to make changes to correct it. Until you actually have the information, until you have the dollars and cents and seeing a decline in the program, if you're not going to admit that we're going in the wrong direction and we need to make some changes, you're not going to make those changes. But because of the business being wrapped in a bureaucracy, it takes much longer to turn that ship around. Use the analogy of the Titanic. If you saw that iceberg, 20 minutes earlier, you may have been able to change the course of the destiny of that ship. But because they didn't see that iceberg, you know the story. Operators need to have this financial information so they can make business decisions. Now, when advising people coming into the Randolph-Shepard program, which am an advocate for, I would tell them when they were in the state of Ohio, you need to be prepared to move from your current location to maybe the other side of the state to gain opportunity and to advance in your career. I no longer recommend that if you're going to enter the Business Enterprise Program to do that in the state of Ohio for a number of reasons, but the number one reason is that it's dropped to $20,000 per income per operator per year, under the average for the entire country. And it's, from the last figures I've seen, it's continuing to drop. Simply by moving to a different state that is more stable and has a better track record as far as growing facilities and or establishing well-paying facilities over an operator's career, working lifespan, 30-35 years, you're talking $500,000 to $600,000 difference in your pay. I think that reason alone is one to seek out this financial information before you become an operator in a particular state. You have your local meetings and or state training. You should be asking your vendors representative committee and the state agency, where were we 5 years ago and where are we today? This information is vital to your career and the well-being of you and your family. And it should be provided readily. But if it's not provided readily, then you need to be asking this information of your vendors representative committee. They need to be providing this to you on a regular basis so you can make decisions in your life, not just wait for something to happen to you. So that's the point for today. Thank you for listening. God bless.